Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to give you a little bit of a background about myself so you can learn just who is behind these videos, as well as I'm going to give you a little sneak peek into what I shoot and a little bit of my work at the end of this video. So stay tuned and make sure that you watch the end of the video just to check out some of my work. Hey, I'm Chrissy from Chrissy Smith Photography and welcome to my YouTube channel. I wanted to give you a little bit behind the scenes and give you an idea of who I am and who you're watching in these videos as you go along learning these tips and tricks and just kind of the things that I have learned along my own path in photography. But before I start into those videos, I wanted to give you that idea of who I am. I'm 36 years old and I am a mother of two. I have an amazing daughter and an adorable little son. I am happily married and I am a stay-at-home mom other than my photography business. So when my kids aren't keeping me on my toes, my business surely is. So now that you know a little bit about that, I'm going to go into my business and kind of tell you a little bit more about my business and why I started this page. Photography has pretty much taken over and been my life. I have always loved photography. I've always loved taking photos ever since probably middle school. I really enjoyed going outside, taking pictures of anything that I could really find, and just being creative. I've always had that artistic background where I loved drawing, I loved photography, anything that was art related, I absolutely loved doing. So I really didn't blossom into the full-blown photography until the end of high school, and I ended up working on cars. Go figure, I went from photography or cars to photography, right? So I ended up working on cars and building cars. Well, that had actually turned into, while I was doing this, I still did my photography. I loved taking automotive photos. So I was forever taking my car that I had built out and, posing it and setting it up and taking photos with it. But I had never really branched out into portraits of people. It was always, cars, flowers, things like that. Then I had met my husband, and a short time later, after we were married, we had my daughter, Rayleigh. And after she was born, I started messing around with my camera and taking more photos of her. At this point, it kind of made me think, what if I were to branch out and maybe follow in the photography side of things? So after looking at it and looking at basically how much it would cost for daycare and so on and so forth versus staying at home and potentially following this photography and seeing where it would take me, both my husband and I kind of figured that, hey, we had a better bet if I just stayed home. We wouldn't have to pay for childcare, and then whatever I brought in from my photography would just be an added bonus. Thus started my career in photography. In 2012, after my daughter was born, I had then decided that this is what I was going to do and put everything I had into getting down everything that I needed to start a photography business. I had started the business and did what many others do, which is, you start building your portfolio, you're doing sessions for like $50, you're not really making any profit because everything that you're making is going right back into the business. You're doing things that you really shouldn't do when you're starting a business, but that's how you live and you learn. Many photographers that I know have started the same exact way. Anyhow, with starting in 2012, I had grown and had gotten to the point where I had actually turned my business into a sole proprietorship and was doing really, really well for myself. I was making more than I was making working full-time at Advance Auto Parts, and I got to spend that extra time with my kids as they grew up, which has been phenomenal. Which actually comes to my next branch in the photography business. In 2018, I had decided to change my business name. I was originally Twisted Images Photography, but in 2018, I wanted to branch out and become something that was a little more family oriented. I didn't want people looking at me and going, well, why is it named Twisted Images? That seems weird. So I ended up rebranding my business and restarting as Chrissy Smith Photography. At that point, things took off. They had gone phenomenally well. The only downfall is during that time, I was still shooting everything. I was shooting kids, families, weddings, boudoir, senior sessions, extended family sessions. You name it, I shot it. First birthday sessions. Like I said, I did not turn anything down that was photography related. In turn, I learned a very valuable lesson from this, that if you keep shooting and keep pushing yourself to shoot things that you don't necessarily care for, then you're just going to wear yourself out. You're gonna burn out, you're not gonna enjoy what you're doing, and that's really defeating the purpose of why I'm doing this to begin with. I love photography, I love being creative, so I want to continue doing what I love doing. So this past winter, we had decided about a year ago that we were going to move, and then we ended up finding an amazing place here in Fairfield, and we couldn't say no to. So right before Corona hit, we decided that we were going to move. And in our new house, we have a 3-bay garage, which was amazing. It was kind of the perfect setup because we always planned on finding a house that we could move to, that I could have a beautiful large studio to do my business out of. And when we had decided to move, we moved in and everything got shut down. I was technically out of business. I couldn't bring anybody in. I couldn't shoot outside. There was nothing I could really do. And everything that I had saved up to renovate this garage and turn half of it into my new studio had gone into paying our bills and making sure mortgage was paid and making sure there was food on the table. Just like every other small business that has really struggled during this, we had our own struggles here. So as we got through that, it kind of brought up some more things to think about. Mainly, what did I want to do with my business? What direction did I want to go with my business? And how did I really feel about it? So after being shut down and opening back up and going back to kind of taking on everything that I could to bring in income, sorry, my son's trying to sneak in. But trying to bring in anything that I could, I had decided that I wanted to sit down and really find out what niche I wanted to get into. I had been told for years from a number of different photographers that the best thing to do in order for my business to grow was to find a specific niche. And then take that niche and grow from it, because what you're doing is basically taking all your efforts that you're putting into all these different types of photography and you're putting it into one specific type or two specific types, which in turn is only going to allow you to grow because you're learning more about what you really want to do versus what you don't want to do and what you want to do. So after talking with my husband, we threw around the idea of, okay, well, do we want to try to finish the garage up, or how do we want to do this? And like I said, I had finally decided and settled on, all right, well, if we're going to do this, I want to do boudoir and I want to do wedding. Those are what I really enjoy doing. I love doing boudoir. I love empowering women, making them feel good about themselves and showing them how beautiful they are. And I feel that not only with boudoir, but I can also do that with capturing all the special moments and details that go into weddings as well. So after we had decided what I really wanted to do and what niche I wanted to stick with, we then tackled the idea of the studio and what we wanted to do. I was currently shooting out of what was combined as 3 different rooms. The old owner of our house had it set up to where it was an office, my storage, and it was a long room. Well, further into thinking into it, I had decided, okay, well, what if we decided to redo the rooms and turn them into my new studio? So we made the decision to revamp that part of the house and turn it into my new studio. When we did this, we took 2 weeks and dedicated all our attention to this. We ended up removing walls, we ended up replacing walls, and pretty much gutted where I was and turned it into my new boudoir studio, which you will see in one of my videos. So now that I had my new studio up, I had figured out my niche on what I wanted to shoot. I had pretty much have everything lined up for my business. And to be honest, at this point, with everything that we have gone through to get here, I will fully admit I am still learning along the way, but everything is so much more exciting. I'm excited for my clients, I'm excited for my business, I'm excited for my family. Everything seems to just be going so awesome, and to be honest, at this point, the sky is the limit. So that's a little bit of a background between, you know, where I'm coming from, who I am, where my business is, and like I said, I'm pretty excited to share my knowledge, even if it is to just help somebody through what I've already gone through, or maybe if it's just that somebody's looking for somebody else that's like them and going through the same thing. By all means, that's where I am with my channel and what I'm planning for. So please, please, please subscribe, follow along on my journey, and learn along the way. Like I said, I plan on posting some tips, some tricks, just things that I wish I would have learned along the way or known along the way, and kind of would have made things go a little bit quicker. So if you have any ideas for any future videos, or if you have any questions for me, feel free to drop them below in the comments. Make sure that you subscribe to my channel, and I look forward to hearing from all of you. Thank you.